pointed out earlier, 11 of the last 16 have been decided by a field goal or less when the Raiders and the Broncos played. 5 of the last 14 have gone to overtime, and Coach Dan Reeves has yet to beat Art Shell since the big guy took over as coach of the Raiders. Shell 4-0 against Denver. Treadwell kicks off. Spinning kick is taken by an up back. This is Smith who runs it, and he crosses the 30-yard line. Steve Smith, and a penalty marker comes in late.
Well, we find out what the penalty is. A comment here about the Raiders' performance in the first half. Holding against the Raiders again. The last game they played was against the Kansas City Chiefs a week ago.
During the run back, number 58 of the receivers, 10 yards, first down at 10.
As I was going to say, the 10-day layoff with the bye week this week for the Raiders, it upsets the program that the professional athlete in football is used to. You play every 7 days, and when you give them 2 weeks off, you come out with a little rust on you. In the first half, the Raiders have been rusty.
Jay Schrader with first and 10 play call. Here comes some Broncos early. Craig in the nose tackle. We'll see if he was drawn off. Might be a illegal procedure against Los Angeles.
Before the snap, false start, number 76 on the offense. 5 yards, and it's still first down.
False starts can be a killer. Pittsburgh Steelers lopsided season this year. When they've lost games have been due, they say more than anything else, to false starts. More false starts than NASA, is the way Chuck Noll describes it.
Now that was Steve Wright, number 66, the right tackle, but they called Steve Wisniewski. It was several of them.
Hand off. Roger Craig takes on tacklers and keeping those legs piston pumping driving.
Ball loose.
Yes, it is. They're going to rule him down at the 25-yard line, but it did indeed appear to be a free ball rolling along the sideline. Mecklenburg, the tackler, 77.
It's a sweep to the outside again. A great lead block by Steve Smith on Dennis Smith. 35 on 49, and watch Mecklenburg hanging on. His knee was down. Raiders maintain possession, but that's just a 2.5-yard pickup by Roger Craig with a lot of work.
Nightfall beginning to set in here in the Mile High City. 14 minutes to play in the third quarter. Schrader, pump faking, they sacked him twice. This time he delivers a throw to Ethan Horton, and he appears to be ahead for a first down. The spot all important. He needed to get to the 32-yard line. Wyman Henderson tackles him.
Here's Mervyn Fernandez. Tyrone Braxton, 34 in coverage. Again, that double rotation zone. Corners up, safeties out, and Schrader does not see him.
You'll be sure that Fernandez will bring it to his attention. He'll look back at it. Fernandez, the former player of the year in the Canadian Football League, when he caught 95 passes for over 1,700 yards.
In our conversation with him last night, I was surprised to hear him say, I asked him, did it take you a while to get used to the more narrow field here in the NFL? And he said, no, I had trouble adjusting to the bump and run tight coverage. In Canada, hey, they let you run down there 3 downs. They play deep.
Crowd starts up, and they can start up big time here at Mile High as the pitch back is for Roger Craig. Good block by Smith, but then the quickness of the Denver defense eludes the blockers, and the tackle is made by Michael Brooks, number 56, who's having really a Pro Bowl year.
And Don, you know, the secret to playing defense is very simple, and that is staying on your feet. This is not a big defense, but it's a very active defense, and they are always on their feet. Brooks, Mecklenburg, Craig in the nose tackle, and if you can pursue down that line of scrimmage on your feet, you're a tackler.
Brooks says he learned to compete early with his older brothers. He's the youngest of 13 children, a Tiger from LSU. Schrader on second down. Throws a spike. This is Ethan Horton running for a first down and some more as he's out to the 48-yard line. Randy Robbins was there, but there's a gain of 13 yards on the play as Schrader Trump is settling into a little bit more of a control passing game. That's the deep throws and making some yardage.
Looks like Mecklenburg gives him a big shove, and then somebody turns him loose. He's wide open out there, and again, this footing on this field not good. It's not that cold.
Now, playing conditions are about perfect. Temperature 40, no precipitation. The lights on the natural grass field of the Broncos. First and 10 Raiders. They trail by 3 in the third quarter. Steve Smith, a power back from Penn State, takes it inside the 45-yard line of Denver, where the sensational young backer Mike Kroll made the stop, number 51.
Quite a change up there for the Raiders. Smith, one of the league's best lead blockers, carries the ball, and the lead blocker at that time was Roger Craig. I think the Raiders realize how critical a drive this is. In a game that every one of the Raiders told us last night, this is a critical game.
A Raider defeat, they'd be 5-5 through 10 games and in wild card jeopardy. Nice play call now for Raiders. Second innings just over 2. Hand off to Smith. The Raiders' best back, as mentioned earlier, in terms of per carry average, 4.7 coming in. Craig in the nose tackle, a Pro Bowler last January, made the stop.
Excellent running back. His only problem, he's not real quick to the line of scrimmage. And great running backs in this league are great in the first 2 or 3 steps to the line of scrimmage. That's his 3rd carry on the day.
You want to see where Roger Craig is going when he gets those pitchbacks. You have only to look at Smith. Few backs use their blockers as well as Roger Craig. He followed Rathman all those years at San Francisco. Rathman, as you see, the Raiders are just short. As we look now at the Hertz 10-minute ticker. KC and the Rams tied up 14-all in the third quarter. Seattle continues to trail at San Diego in the third quarter, 14-0. The Giants, the defending Super Bowl champions, under fire in their home area, leading Phoenix. And here at Mile High, Denver holding to a 10-7 lead, but the Raiders driving here in the third quarter. Third and short. Steve Smith with the first down, but it's going to come back. Steve Smith is heading for the end zone, and he will take it in, but the play is coming back. A flag was thrown in by the umpire. Looking at the Raider offense, a 43-yard touchdown run is negated and a holding call. Starts to hurt the Big Art Shell.
Holding during the run by the offense. 10 yards, still third down.
I didn't get the number, did you? Art Shell is asking, who'd you call it on? There's Kim Helton, the offensive line coach. They want to know who.
We're going to hear shortly. Maybe we're not.
Well, he's not quick to the line of scrimmage, but once through the line of scrimmage, Steve Smith shows good speed there. Nice assist there by Mervin Fernandez, but it's all coming back. 3rd and 10.
They're calling penalties, but they're not taking numbers. No announcement of a guilty party. Looked like there might have been a leg whip by a Raider lineman. Here's a stick Raider. Mike Kroll. Kroll, the AFC leader, with his 9th sack of the season, a rookie.
Watch what he does. Here he is right here, but he moves out here to rush against the quarterback. The Broncos have done a great job of making sure that Kroll is not locked up with any tackles. He comes untouched to get the Broncos' 3rd sack of the day, his 8th sack of the season. Make that 9th sack of the season.
Yes, right. His 9th sack of the season, the leader in the American Conference. NFL leader is Pat Swilling of the New Orleans Saints. He started the day with 11.5. Kroll, second fastest player on the Denver team. 49-yard punt and a 7-yard return.
America's Wheel.
10:36 to play in the third quarter. Mike Kroll, a cornerstone already of the Denver defense. The defense built on speed, and he has it aplenty. with his 9th sack to lead the AFC. He won in each of his last 6 games. Fourth player picked in the last draft, as Dan Reeves said. One of the good things that came out of the 5-11 season was Mike Kroll. You don't get him if you're a big winner.
He has paid dividends, hasn't he?
And he'll continue to. He's a very good pass cover, so they're not sure if he's going to cover or blitz. Give it to you both ways on defense as Gaston Green runs on first down and gains about 3 out to the 20. Middle of the Raider defense, Golick, Long, and Scott Davis on the stop.
Let's watch that run by Steve Smith. There's holding somewhere in here. We have yet to hear who it was. Looks like it might be the left tackle. He had his arms wrapped around 96 Kenny Walker. Ethan Horton was also there. The umpire calls it. Normally the side judge is looking at the tight end. The umpire usually looks at the tackle. I bet it's on the offensive left tackle.
They never called a number, but it did negate a 43-yard touchdown run by Steve Smith, and the Broncos continue to lead the game, and now they go to the run. Gaston Green finds it punted upfield, gets to the 20-yard line. The Denver Broncos' ability to run the ball on the Raider defense has been a very big part of their success today when they could not run at all at the Coliseum in September when they lost 16-13 to the Raiders.
Here comes the shotgun formation, which also includes Harvey Salem at the offensive left tackle. On the Broncos sideline, there's 9 offensive players that kind of collect around Dan Reeves, and then he sends any group. There they are. Reeves is in the middle. Any one of those guys can be in on the next play, so they're all standing up there the whole game.
Elway on third down. Here comes Howie Long. He eludes him, gets it away, makes the connection to super fast Ricky McNeil. He's up to the 40. And on 3rd and 5, the Broncos get 19 yards and a first down.
You just can't coach what Elway does here. Natil runs the pattern on Lewis. It looks like the key area of a basketball court. But did you see the move by John Elway when he was flushed out of the pocket? Now watch what he does. Who is it that it's Howie Long? He just freezes him for a second, and still with the strength of arm able to make the completion. One of the most difficult quarterbacks in the league to defense.
And nobody will affirm that more than the Raiders. I have high admiration for John Elway as the rookie Greg Lewis runs right at the Raiders on a first down carry out to the 43-yard line. Got 3. Scott Davis on yet another tackle along with Bob Golick.
Now that last play, just there's so much frustration when you play John Elway at quarterback. There have been at least 3 times where a defensive player has had Elway squarely in his sights, and they have not been able to come up with a sack yet today. Here's the man that leads the Raiders in sacks, and he's got his crosshairs on John Elway.
Elway with a career rushing average of 4.8. Howie Long said somebody move. See what the side judge says as he runs in.
Well, one of the secrets is getting off the ball in a hurry.
False start. Number 72 of the offense. 5 yards, still second down.
Call it on the center, Keith Karts. See if he moves the football. But Elway pushes him. They should call that on Elway. Elway just shoves him out of his stance, but they call it on Karts.
Howie Long having another terrific season for the Raiders, and he's quick to compliment his defensive line coach, Earl Leggett. Howie says, if I go to the Pro Bowl this year, I'm bringing Earl and his wife with me.
Let's go,
Art Shell, just with such great praise for Earl Leggett. He said he'll take a player with raw ability and turn him into a Pro Bowl player. He's done it with Long, and he's done it with Greg Townsend. Elway in trouble, and they get him. The first sack for the Raider defense of this day, and Steve Sewell starts up.
Anthony Smith is the man with the sack. Let me continue on that story about Earl Leggett. Left the Los Angeles Raiders. There's Earl. Came to Denver. Art Shell said, I want him back. And I asked Art last night, why? And he said, when I was playing, Leggett and I used to talk about pass protection. He'd tell me defensively what he'd do against my moves offensively. And he also said Leggett was the guy who got Art Shell to talk to Al Davis about becoming the head coach of the Raiders. There are a lot of people on this team who have great respect for Earl Leggett.
And Art said, now I'm talking to Earl about thinking about being a head coach. I think he'd be a very good one. leg of the former Chicago Bear. Here's Elway on the run. Linebacker coming. He throws crossfield. It comes in on the one hop. The rookie Derek Russell. So now Horan is out to boom the ball, and he can do that. The punter for the Denver Broncos with 6:54 to play in the third quarter. And the Broncos continue to lead the game as they did at halftime, 10-7. Tim Brown goes back for the Raiders.
They need a big return here from Tim Brown. Get some good field position, some life here to the Raiders.
He's one of the AFC's best this season returning punts, averaging over 12 yards a return. Horan steps in quickly. Remember how he was fouled earlier. Penalty marker comes in as Brown fair catches the ball.
That's going to be on Denver. Yep. It's the man who was blocking Elvis Patterson who ran into the punter. I think it was Steve Sewell who was the in man on the line. Well, let me correct myself. I don't think it was Steve Sewell. It was the man on the line of scrimmage. It's holding against Denver, and they're going to make them punt it again.
It was a 42-yard punt, and as you saw, no return. Clock is stopped with 6:46 left to go in the third quarter.
Holding, number 30 of the kicking team. 10 yards, still fourth down.
Steve Sewell.
Yeah, it was Steve Sewell. He's up on the line of scrimmage. He's right here. Patterson comes to the outside, and watch what Sewell does to him. As Patterson gets around him, he just pulls him down. That's an excellent call. Make him cover that punt again.
So again, Tim Brown drops, but this time the Raiders could come out of it with very good field position as he is standing at the Raiders' 40-yard line. Wind not a factor. Flags are dead. Hanging straight down is Tim Brown, a Heisman Trophy winner from Notre Dame. The breakaway speed and then the moves to beat that front line of tacklers. Waits for the kick from Horan. Line drive, very short. He cuffs the field, and it takes a hop out of bounds, but it's a Raider break as the ball goes out of bounds at the Los Angeles 48-yard line. Just a 33-yard punt. So Art Shell's Raiders will start with good field position when we come back. Here in Denver, Colorado, Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy. Denver Broncos dominating this game in time of possession and total yardage with 19 more offensive plays, Trump, with the Raiders right in it.
Yeah, they got their best field position of the day here. And again, we had a critical drive before, negated by that penalty on the touchdown run by Steve Smith. Now, Raiders, they're down to very few chances left.
Here's Roger Craig, looking like the Pro Bowl Roger Craig of 49ers fame as he runs it on first down for 13 yards. And the much bigger Raider offensive front might be wearing down the Denver defenders a bit.
That's just the 28th offensive play that the Raiders have had to this point in the game. And with the new timing system in the NFL, you don't have many more chances. Fernandez, just 86, does a nice job of blocking there.
Roger Craig looking good as again he breaks into the secondary. Michael Brooks finally comes up and gets him along with Mike Kroll.
Don, I think your point about this big offensive line of the Los Angeles Raiders is a valid one. At some point, if they can control the line of scrimmage, they begin to wear down defenses. And as we've said earlier, this is not a particularly big Denver defense. They're strong, but they're not big.
Al Davis always a proponent. If you ain't got size up front, you ain't got nothing. Raiders always with huge offensive and defensive lines. Smith on 2nd and 5, got a couple down close to the 33-yard line. Clock ticks down to 5:10 to play. Greg Craig in the nose tackle, first man to make the hit. We look again at the Hertz 10-minute ticker. Kansas City now has taken a lead over the LA Rams. And San Diego continues to lead Seattle. The Seahawks and the Raiders started the day both 5-4 in the AFC West. Denver makes a load of defensive substitutions. 3rd down and 2 comes up for the Raiders. Tim Brown in an end around, and he whips inside the 25-yard line and almost breaks it. Randy Robbins, 48, finally got him, but on 3rd and 2, Tim Brown gains 10 and a first down for Los Angeles.
We don't keep official stats on shoving matches, do we?
We're going for the bonus here if we are.
I think we're in double figures. Excellent call here. Watch the blocking down. This is almost the Washington Redskins counter, only this time they put a little college in it. They give it to the wingback, Tim Brown. He picks up 10 yards. Saving tackle there by Randy Robbins. And the Raiders, even though they've not played particularly well today, only their best chance right now.
Schrader looks deep on first down. He turns out at Tim Brown. This will be a touchdown for Los Angeles, and they take the lead. 23 yards.
Wyman Henderson was the man in coverage.
Jay Schrader makes the big throw as a Denver defender caught interception for a moment, and Tim Brown just stood there, fielded it with both hands, and at his leisure walked in for the go-ahead score.
Now there you see the matchup. This is not a particularly great move by Tim Brown, just an out. Henderson slips again. I mentioned in the first half that the footing was not very good here. I mean, he just waltzes into the end zone like nobody's business.
New game, same old story. Raiders and Broncos as the lead goes back and forth. 3:42 to play in the third quarter. And now Los Angeles looks to extend its lead to 14-10. Jaeger from the University of Washington, one of the NFL's best. He'll set a Raider record this season in field goals. But on the extra point, we had a penalty marker down front. Extra point was good.
Now this is just a simple square out by Jay Schrader. They got a penalty against the Raiders on the extra point.
Holding during the kick. Number 41 of the offense. Point's no good. We'll replay after a 10-yard penalty. Try for the point.
Napoleon McCallum called for the hold. As Coach Shell knows, this is a enormous extra point. If good, it gives the Raiders a 4-point lead, and the Broncos have to score a touchdown. They could tie it with a field goal if it's missed. Jaeger with 21 field goals already this season, the most in the NFL, and just 2 short of George Bland's regular season record as a Raider set years ago. Great job by the holder, Jeff Gossett. Took a hard, high snap and gave a perfect set for Jaeger. And the Raiders are back in front now, 14-10.
Sophisticated play, but watch the motion, man. He comes here. It draws the underneath coverage here. And then here's where the touchdown takes place. Basically, an out pattern. But the motion man does draw the linebacker to him just enough for Schrader to get the ball in there. Henderson can't knock the ball away from Tim Brown. In your face for 6 points. 5 plays, 52 yards.
Brown's second touchdown reception of the year. As Jaeger kicks off, a sidewinder. Hops down to the goal line, and the rookie Derek Russell brings it back for the Broncos. Fighting people at the 21-yard line, and that's where John Elway and the Bronco offense will go 1st and 10. Napoleon McCallum on special teams tackle for Los Angeles. The Raiders the lead, and now holding to a 14-10 advantage. They trail at halftime. The day begins next Sunday with NFL Live at 12:30 Eastern Time. The Broncos head into Kansas City. The Jets play at New England. Cincinnati goes against the Eagles at Philadelphia. And a big game at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. The Seahawks, who are trailing 14-7 at San Diego, go against the Raiders. Here's Elway on first down. All he's got, picked off by Anderson. For Eddie Anderson. Mark Jackson was the intended receiver, as Anderson, who was in there as an enforcer and a hitter, plays that great center field.
That's 2 interceptions thrown today by John Elway. And boy, there was great coverage here on Jackson. Washington is step for step with Mark Jackson, and then inside Andy Anderson comes. That, I would call that throwing the ball into a crowd. Not a particularly good choice by John Elway. Now on the rollout, you do not have many people in the pattern, but this is coverage. Excellent coverage. Boy, does this add to the momentum of the Los Angeles Raiders.
They start now from their 40. and go to the run. Roger Craig follows the blockers, and he works his way out to the 47-yard line. A first down carry, good for 7. Wyman Henderson, the right cornerback, was the tackler for Denver.
Don, if you look at the statistics, with the exception of those 2 interceptions, the Denver Broncos own the clock, they own the yardage, and they're trailing, and they've just given the Los Angeles Raiders, again, great field position, and their chance to score on 2 straight drives now in this second half.
Roger Craig. Penalty marker also. Warren Powers, number 91, was the man who shot the gap and got Craig in the backfield.
Well, that's double jeopardy. Lose yards and a holding call. Back judge watches tight ends.
You would know that, having been
I hated them.
victimized by their flag.
I hated them. Sweep near side. You've got both tight ends there, Glover and Horton, 87 and 88.
During the run, holding number 88 on the offense. That penalty is declined. It's third down.
Who's that penalty on? A tight end, Ethan Horton. Those back judges, I'm telling you. They try to double team Kroll. And there you see Ethan Horton pulling down Wyman Henderson. Could be no doubt on that.
I'll tell you, Mile High Stadium is one great place to see a football game. Everybody should get a chance to experience it. It's unbelievable.
Here comes the blitz. Watch Kroll, far side.
I can't hear you. Here is Jay Schrader. Tip ball. And the Raiders have to punt.
Looked like Simon Fletcher got his hand up, Don. But again, they tried to trick him. They put Kroll out on the outside. Fletcher rushes from the inside and see Kroll on the right. No, it's Carl Mecklenburg, 77. We said 73. It's Carl Mecklenburg, 77.
One of the best, Carl Mecklenburg. The man who been a 4-time Pro Bowl player after coming in the 12th round of the draft. But they said I was too small to be a down lineman, too slow to be a linebacker. He's been a tremendous linebacker. Gossett gets a high spiral downfield, kicking away from Vance Johnson, and it takes a hop inside the 5-yard line. Out of bounds at the 1.
Oh!
Well, they'll high-five that.
First and 98 after a 55-yard punt.
Probably the punt of the year, 55 yards, out of bounds at the 1-yard line.
Goodness. This kid does a great job of position punting, kicking it away from the returner. You'd think this was the Coliseum with that bounce. My goodness.
The NFL's leading punter with maybe his best hit of the year from Eastern Illinois, Jeff Gossett.
Boy, is that a huge play.
Elway and the Broncos start out in jail. First and 10 at their 1-yard line. Watch the Raiders come now. Here's the blitz. Ellison shoots. Play ball. Raiders have it. 3-yard line.
Third turnover for the Raiders today.
Eddie Anderson.
They give it to the upback. I think it's Perriman on the carry, Don. 33 carries it, 33 recovers it. I mean, there's so little you can do offensively. That is Perriman. He makes the penetration. Ellison, number 50, makes the penetration. Yeah.
That's a run blitz on a down in yardage like that. They did it pay off. So the Raiders have turned this game quickly, hoping to put the knockout punch on, although there's a long way to go. We still have 2:01 to go in the third quarter.
What did Art Shell tell us last night?
Yep, he said if we don't turn it over, we'll win. So far, the Raiders have not turned it over. Denver has done it 3 times. This is a critical one. Smith and Marcus Allen are the running backs. Willie Gault comes in the game.
What are we doing here? I think they're going to have a replay look at this.
if his knee was down.
On the field, the play is ruled as a fumble and recovery by the defense.
Whoops, wait a minute. His butt was on the ground. The Broncos are going to get this ball back. That is a perfect picture.
There's a man making his pronouncement with no reservation. He'll get it back, you say.
Look at Art Shell. I don't think there's any way in the world that the Raiders are going to keep this ball. Ellison makes the hit. Butt down, ball out.
That's right.
A butt is 2 feet. 2 cheeks is 2 feet in the NFL.
That's it. Whatever's fair, that's what they'll try to decide now.
Al LaFleur in the booth right next to us looking at it.
Al Locasell, the executive assistant, sitting next to Al Davis.
This is where they put the replay in. Limited use of instant replay. Place is going to erupt, in my opinion.
The Raiders are the only AFC team to win the Super Bowl since the Pittsburgh Steelers beat the LA Rams at the conclusion of the '79 season. And the Raiders are the only team who appeared in the Super Bowl in the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
I hear a smattering of boos here in Bronco Stadium. They should stop it. Give this guy as much time as possible to make the decision. Again, perfect picture. Where his butt is down. He still has the ball.
Well, he's got part of it anyway.
Part of it's enough. I think we're going to have an overturned play.
Now Red Caston's about to say, upon further review
by the replay official, the play stands.
Whoa! On what grounds?
Well, the ball was coming out when he was going down, apparently.
Coming out is not out.
Inconclusive.
Goodness.
Smith drives ahead for 2 yards after he was stuck hard.
I have this comment to make. If that last replay we had of the fumble, if that's inconclusive, what exactly is conclusive?
Well, I'm going to work on that, but I guess they felt that the ball was coming out.
Well, that one's going to be written and talked about a lot.
Point-blank range for the Raiders now. 2nd and goal from a yard away. Play fake. And Schrader sees nobody open and does the right thing. He throws it away. Atwater was coming on a safety blitz and almost got Jay Schrader.
Good play action fake, but the man out in the pattern, which is Ethan Horton, he's covered all the way. Very unusual that a quarterback turn his back to the line of scrimmage at point-blank range here. Here's Ethan Horton. Watch the coverage. Dennis Smith all over him. He's basically the only man in the pattern.
Big down now. 1:17 to go, 3rd quarter. Raiders lead at 14-10. They have 3rd and goal from the 1. Smith, he didn't get there. Mecklenburg, after Smith was slowed, sticks him and knocks him back.
He wasn't even close, Don.
So Shea was also on the stop. He was the first tackler. Then Mecklenburg finished him off.
Great job by the Denver Bronco defensive line. There was no place for Smith to go. And actually, Mecklenburg comes very late to stop this. Watch the pennant stands. Everybody up at the line of scrimmage. Look how late Mecklenburg is in there to make the contact. Great.
Submarining the play. So the goal line defense of the Denver Broncos makes the big play. Don Shula once said, nothing turns a game like a goal line stand. They will get a chance at 3. And Jaeger hits a 19-yard field goal with 47 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. And the Raiders build their lead to 7 points, but not to 11.
Well, the fumble by Robert Perriman that was ruled inconclusive. It was not overturned by the replay booth. And here again is the fumble. It's inconclusive as to whether or not he's down. Coming out is not out. I'm shocked that was not returned to the Denver Broncos, but the defense saves Perriman, allowing the Raiders only 3 points. That's 4 shots from point-blank range that the Raiders cannot get into the end zone. Coming into this season, they thought they would have a great offensive line and be able to run on anybody. And frankly, throughout this 1991 season, if there's been a failure of this team, it's the offensive line. It's not really controlled the line of scrimmage like the Raiders expected it would.
Well, it has not. Earl Leggett, the defensive line coach, one of his best products is his own son, former Trojan at USC, who's now playing for the New Orleans Saints in their defensive line.
What a change first half to second half.
Offensive line.
Like they changed uniforms, went out, played each other's offense.
Yeager booms a kick off Derek Russell, the rookie, lets it go out of the end zone. John Elway, whose career is 5-10 against the Raiders as the starting quarterback, gets set to lead the Los Angeles Denver offense out against the Los Angeles defense. Here comes Elway. Kansas City holding to a 6-point lead on the Rams at Anaheim in the fourth quarter. San Diego continues to lead Seattle in the fourth quarter at San Diego. Giants are up by 14 at Phoenix. Townsend, the Raiders Pro Bowl pass rusher, said Elway, we fear him late in the game. He comes back to get you so many times. Denver runs the ball, and Greg Lewis, number 41, is the man. First-year player. Third quarter winding out.
Eddie Anderson that time makes the tackle again. The double tight end offense by the Broncos trying to stretch that defense just as much as they can to give their running backs a little more space tackle to tackle.
Denver's roster with an infusion of new talent this year. 9 first-year players, 7 draft choices, and 2 free agents after that 5-11 season of a year ago. On 2nd and 5, they give that to the rookie, and he delivers out across the 30. First down, Broncos. And that will do it for the first quarter as the tackle was made by Tom Benson. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
Home of the hit.
Dan Reeves, seeing what he's seen so many times, a shootout with the L.A. Raiders. Dan Reeves certainly a leading candidate for NFL Coach of the Year this season. See how the scoring went. Redwell on the field goal. Then Marcus Allen, the tight end, Andrew Glover. Then Elway ran for a touchdown to give the Broncos back the lead. And then Raiders got it back on the TD throw straighter to Tim Brown as Gaston Green runs on first down for Denver. Ricky Ellison and Bob Golick tackled him.
And I have a feeling that John Elway's happy that the third quarter ended here today. Not good at all.
Elway, who gained fame as a high school quarterback at Granada Hills outside Los Angeles. As you see in the third quarter, not a lot happened for John in the Broncos offense after they ran the ball so well in the first half. 123 yards rushing in the first half for the Broncos, who had only 33 in the entire first game against the Raiders. Gaston Green, and he quit. Number 1 draft choice for the Rams. I talked to him yesterday. I said, how come you never played it with the Rams? I really don't think John Robinson wanted me as his number 1 pick. He wanted a big back, and that's what he played.
Well, who's their big back now? Cleveland Gary, the guy that puts it on the ground all the time?
But he is big.
He is big. Yes, there's no question about that. This guy is amazingly fast.
This is his 5th year. And he's had far more carries this year than he had his whole career with the Rams. There goes Gaston Green again, showing his stuff. Inside the 40.
Young man grew up in Los Angeles, told me yesterday in the locker room after a 20-yard gain. I asked him, was he a Raider fan? He said, no, actually, he was a Pittsburgh Steelers fan and a Dallas Cowboy fan.
But with the winners at that time, huh?
Yes, they were. Nothing wrong with that. Well, the Denver Bronco fans have become a fan of Gaston Green, especially since Bobby Humphrey takes a 97-day vacation.
That's what he's doing today after coming back from an injury. That was a 20-yard run, his best of the day. Back to Gaston Green, both arms on the ball, not looking to turn it over, as the Broncos have been guilty of 4 turnovers in this game, the Raiders none. Ronnie Lott, the tackler. As we check Xerox Sports Facts, which NFL team has the best home record over the past decade?
Please. This is kindergarten sports facts here. Come on. Give us something that's a challenge. 7th play of the drive. To this point, all runs by Denver.
That's not Tampa Bay. Here is John Elway throwing a quick out. He's got Gaston Green working on Lott. And Green dives inside the 25-yard line. First down Denver, a 14-yard play.
Well, this has pretty much been the Gaston Green drive. He is not the primary receiver. Releases out of the backfield. Elway looking downfield. Green out there in the fight. He doesn't catch the ball a lot.
Speaking of Gaston Green and his former team, the Rams have now come back on a Jim Everett pass for a touchdown in the 4th quarter, 7:06 to play, and they have tied Kansas City at Anaheim 20-all. Greg Lewis, the first-year running back, is now aligned behind Elway. John Elway rolling out, looking for the sideline, and he bails out. Some big Raiders were looking to do him some harm.
Howie Long, McDaniel, Winston Moss.
The answer to the sports facts, the NFL's best home record over the past decade, right here in Denver. The Broncos with 77% wins.
If you didn't get that one, go to the back of the class.
And with that home field dominance, they, of course, have been a Super Bowl team 3 times. Under Dan Reeves, 4 times overall. They went once under Red Miller. Red's now a stockbroker here in Denver. Less hectic. Maybe not. Here's a handoff to Greg Lewis as he goes inside the 20 down to the 19. Bring up 3rd down and almost 5.
That 5-10 record against the Raiders. You said that earlier. They have harassed, sacked, chased John Elway all over the field in those 15 games. The shotgun formation is in. The situation substitution left tackle Harvey Salem in there.
Elway with the great attribute of a winner. When the heat's on, he's not afraid. He wants the whole thing put on his shoulders. Now he hands to Sewell, and on the quick hitter up the middle, Sewell takes it to the 14-yard line. Greg Townsend saved the touchdown.
Well, that play has worked. Elway scores on that play to draw up the middle. Watch again. Watch Winston Moss, 99. He's on the blitz. He's responsible for Sewell. They hand it to him on the draw, and he's right up there. Eddie Anderson, and Townsend makes the tackle, but not before he picks up the first down yardage.
11th play of the drive coming up now. Raiders and the Broncos. You always expect a good game. Invariably, you get one. This one may be better than advertised as Denver looks for the tying touchdown. Gaston Green, quick to the outside, and down to the 11-yard line. On 1st and 10, he got 4.
Great move by Gaston Green, just putting a hesitation in the pursuit. He takes a little dip inside, and it stops everybody almost in their tracks. Well, that's the stuff you can't coach. Watch what happens here. Watch this little move inside. Watch, see Benson steps up there. Ellison stops for a split second, and then Green has the speed to get outside Ellison and Lott on the tackle, and he picks up 4. Boy, you can't coach that in a running back. They're either born with it or they never get it.
Inside the 20 today. 2 times, 1 touchdown, 1 field goal, 9:22 to play in the game. Handoff, protecting the ball very well is Gaston Green. I like what O.J. Simpson once said about running backs. It's not an acquired skill. You either have it or you don't.
Well, you should know he had it. He had all that you can pack in one person. Now, here again is this formation that the Raiders have had great luck with. Draws up the middle, and the Raiders come with the same defense. Let's see how this plays out.
Dave Adolph and his defense. Facing the brunt now of Denver attackers. John Elway leading that attack. And now Elway wants to talk this over. A very important play call, 3rd down and 6.
Raiders changed up their defense.
So while Elway comes to the sidelines to talk it over, there's a timeout. 12th play of the drive, 11 runs and 1 pass for the Broncos, who trail by 7. Elway over the middle. There's a throw and a catch and a touchdown. The Vance.
Now that was very stupid.
Yep, penalty marker.
That's Reeves is on the sideline. He's about to jump right in Vance Johnson's face. Don't throw the ball up in the stands. It's after the play is over, but on the ensuing kickoff, the Broncos are going to be penalized.
There is no infraction. The player's foul is being picked up. No infraction.
So Red Casson, I have to applaud him on that and his wisdom in a game like this. The guy celebrates with a tying touchdown.
Well, they've changed that, Don. There's the touchdown, but what they do is they fine him, but there's no penalty for the demonstration. That's the change in the rule. That's $1,000 out of Vance's pocket.
That's less expensive than a penalty. Here's a block. Is that huge? There'll be no overtime. It's 17-16. The Raiders hold their lead. Scott Davis shot through. We'll look on replay to make sure that we get the right man's hand. Coach Reeves can't believe all that. John Elway's cannon arm, the equalizer until the extra point was blocked. Little squib kick. I don't know if he intended to do that, but Steve Smith fields it beautifully coming to the sideline. Let's watch the block now by the Raider defense.
Right up the middle, number 70, Scott Davis, 6'7.5". Gets a little penetration, left hand up in the air.
Oh, he got it flush.
Yes, he did. Huge play.
The Raiders trying to come off the ropes. They were knocked back emotionally by a game at Kansas City their last time out before the week off. Garcelle described as not a loss, but a gift. We gave it away. Now we've got to summon it, get back up and play like Raiders. They've been doing that as Roger Craig breaks the crust and runs out to the 36-yard line on a first down carry. Tyrone Braxton, number 34, a cornerback, came over to tackle him as Roger Craig is starting to pick it up a notch with the game on the line.
Missed extra point by Denver, their first missed extra point of the year.
Roger having a good day.
Most of those yards by Craig have come in the second half, too, Don.
of 16 by a field goal or less. And the Raiders and the Broncos have played. Here's a pitch back. Craig. He is tough. Takes on Atwater, who's a knockout tackler, and Dan Reeves wants to
holding. He wants him to throw the flag on the holding.
Dan Reeves had to admire that touchdown pass of Marcus Allen. He used to throw him when he was a Dallas Cowboy, the halfback option.
We're going to watch Ethan Horton, the tight end, on Simon Fletcher. I think this is what Dan Reeves was yelling about. No call. Craig now 57 yards on 12 carries. He had 99 yards in the first game.
I don't think I've ever heard more noise from. The loudest place I've ever been in. Here's Schrader with a throw and a terrific catch by the tight end, Ethan Horton. You'll remember his earlier drop, but he certainly make amends now with a diving reception for an 11-yard gain and a Raider first down.
Randy Robbins was the man in coverage, and man, did Ethan Horton work on that pattern. Goodness. Robbins was all over him. He ran a little delay. He goes outside, comes back inside, and Robbins was right there, but Schrader was right on the money.
A quick ITT 10-minute ticker. Seattle has rallied to tie the Chargers in the fourth quarter. Raiders leading here 17-16. Going to power football on first down. Steve Smith is the runner, the big back from Penn State Takes it right at Carl Mecklenburg.
Broncos have 2 timeouts left. Raiders are going to be very, very conservative in their approach here, and Reeves knows how disastrous that missed extra point is. Raiders going to be very slow in their approaching the line of scrimmage, take a lot of time off the clock.
On 2nd and 7, Raiders screens the ball to Steve Smith. Look at the blockers, shot down Broncos. And Smith gets down to the 36-yard line. About as good as you can run it.
Perfect call. Absolutely perfect call. Broncos are trying to get pressure on Schrader. They can't believe he's going to throw it. Excellent job. Wisniewski 76 out front, the center Mosbar.
What's blocking?
Well, there are 3 big guys out there in front. McElroy 77. He hangs onto the football, stays in bounds, 14-yard pickup. Clock continues to run. All bad news for the Broncos.
Raiders continue to lead by a point. Week 2. Napoleon McCallum, who led the nation in rushing one year as a running back for the Naval Academy, runs the ball and is tackled by Michael Brooks. 5-yard gain by McCallum, 2nd and 5.
And you know how key that 5-yard gain on the first down is. Now Denver can't call timeout as a defense. If they can get him with a yard gain on that first down, then you can justify calling timeout. The defense has got to save some time on the clock for the offense with 4:35 and clicking left.
The Denver Broncos continue as the NFL's comeback story of the season. 5-11 and left in the division in 1990. 7-2 now, but trailing the Raiders as McCallum takes it over the top. A thunderous hit, and McCallum fights on. First down for the Raiders. Now let's go to New York and Bob Costas. Bob?
Don, just as you had a key missed extra point, ran 23 yards for the score, and Kansas City leads 27-20.
Wow. 3:42 to play in the game. Raiders driving and holding to a 1-point lead. Back to the power to McCallum. And the Broncos try to stuff the run. They knock it down after a gain of 2 or 3 yards. Defensive end Ron Holmes, number 90, was the first hit.
Broncos got to start thinking about calling timeouts on the defense there. You can't look at the end of the game as a 2-minute situation. You got to save your offense as much time as possible.
There's some great Raider games coming up on NBC Sports. Next Sunday, they go against Seattle at the Coliseum. December 8th against the Buffalo Bills at the Coliseum. Coach Dan Reeves feeling this is a pivotal game. As you know, the head-to-head tiebreaker. Number 1 is head-to-head competition. And the Raiders, we know, have beaten the Broncos twice this season. McCallum down to the 17, maybe the 16-yard line. Gain of 2 or 3 on the play. It brings up 3rd down and short. Warren Powers was on the stop.
Well, they're not calling it a timeout. The Raiders can wait till the 2-minute warning before they run another play.
Both these teams with very effective field goal kickers. Jaeger of the Raiders is the better long field goal kicker. He's 22 of 25 for the season. There's David Treadway. He's been almost as good. David Treadwell, 19 of 24. Marcus Allen. Raiders stop him on 3rd down and call a timeout. They didn't need one. It got down to the 2-minute warning.
Now, wait a minute. This is going to be interesting to see if
they did it at 2:01.
Yeah, if they did it at 2:01. Now they're calling the 2-minute warning. You saw Red Cash, and that's a 2-minute warning.
It's a 2-minute warning.
If they did it at 2:01, of course, they would have got a timeout there and another at the 2-minute warning, but this is the 2-minute warning. Looked like Mecklenburg was the man who blocked Jaeger's field goal.
Just like Davis did up the middle, so does Mecklenburg block the field goal attempt. Behind Jaeger, watch the left hand of Carl Mecklenburg. Gets a little penetration. Blocked.
Now it comes down to John Elway versus the Raider defense. Here's Elway on first down by a point. Tip ball, incomplete.
That last drive by the Raiders, 10 plays, 51 yards, no points.
Used up almost 7 minutes of time.
Here's the block once again. Mecklenburg looking, use a little pass rush move there. It's his left hand. Scott Davis blocked the extra point with his left hand.
Kyle Mecklenburg, the man who blocked it. David Treadwell's longest of the season, the Denver place kicker, is 47 yards. On 2nd and 10, the Raiders dig in. They send 6 guys. Here's Elway with Howie Long coming hard on open throw to Ricky McNeil. He's across the 30 and touchdown inbounds at the 32-yard line. A yard short of the first down as McNeil sprints back to alignment.
And they had several people open. Raiders can't be too soft here in coverage now. Raiders using 6 defensive backs. Zone deep, man under.
Look at John Elway taking himself to the 35-yard line, and now they call a timeout. 1:19 to play. (17 to 16). 1:19 to go. The Broncos lead at 17 to 16.
The Broncos have 1 timeout left, as you see there.
Broncos down by a point. Raiders with a 17-16 lead as Elway stands in.
Oh, he's wide.
Makes the throw, but it's not going to be for much yardage out to the 42-yard line to Michael Young.
Ricky McNeil was wide open down the field, Don. Wide open.
Time of the essence now. Game clock down inside a minute to play. 2nd down. They need 3. No catch. He lost the ball at the 41. Did Mark Jackson. But he did stop the clock with 50 seconds to play, and now 3rd down and 3 comes up.
Ask Cleveland how John Elway does in these situations. Jackson across the middle, ball thrown low. Jackson makes that catch if it's waist high.
This game, the outcome could change the face of the season for the winning team. Raiders would go to 6-4 with 2 wins over Denver and be back by 2 games. Denver wins it. The Raiders would be 3 back and 5-5. Here is Mark Jackson running hard for the sideline. He didn't get there. Clock runs. You see it ticking down. 39 seconds to play.
They want to save that last timeout for the field goal attempt. They'll just throw it into the ground. Stops the clock. Well, let's see if they get to the 30. They're in Treadwell's range, right? 30 and 17 is 47.
Well, he's got only 2 of 5 outside the 40.
This is the crossing pattern. Jackson running through all the coverage, but Lott can't get to him. Makes a saving tackle, and Jackson just can't get out of bounds. I'd look for the crossing pattern again.
Our NBC statistician, Ross Schneiderman, totaling the numbers. Elway now 12 for 28, 185 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Another would be fatal. He's on the run. John Elway trying to get to the 12th man, the sideline. And he fumbles out of bounds in his wisdom. And the Raiders protest. Hey, they perfected that art.
Yeah, the rule is in the book because of the Los Angeles Raiders. Well, the officiating crew over there accosted by the Los Angeles Raiders. Very smart play by John Elway. All that happens is it comes back to the spot where he fumbled it.
Dave the Ghost Casper of Raider fame perfected that one day at San Diego, and they changed the rules.
An underhand throw by Ken Stabler. Pushed forward by Pete Vanasak. Recovered in the end zone by Dave Casper. This is a very... Oh, they're going right back to the line of scrimmage. They're saying that he's not out of bounds.
Back to live action now. Elway. Let's see what the ruling. The clock is stopped with 12 seconds to play. They've got to get closer than this, so he has to make this next pass play. And now the Broncos down to 1 timeout.
And it's also 4th down. Now, let's see it. 1 timeout, 4th down at the 37 plus 17, 54 yards. They got to go for the first down, Don.
Kansas City has defeated the Rams 27-20. I'd like to welcome those who've been watching that game. Don Prigge with Bob Crumpy at Mile High Stadium. 4th down for Elway. Game, he has to hit this pass. He does. It's a first down. And the Broncos call timeout with 6 seconds to play.
47-yard field goal attempt.
What a game. Crumpy, this is why we don't have real jobs.
You know, the only sad thing about this is I wish it were tied so we could see more. This one deserves overtime.
And our thanks to our NBC crew for their terrific work on this game. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Terry O'Neill. Coordinating producer of NFL football, John Paratzis. The producer of today's game, Victor Frank. Director, Richard Klein. Associate Director, Ray Benassi. 6 seconds to play. And it comes down to a final swing of the leg. I wonder if David Treadwell was watching that kid from Notre Dame yesterday.
Of course, the last kick by Treadwell, blocked by Scott Davis. That one was an extra point.
This will be a 48-yarder. It'll be his longest of the season. Coach Shell is ready to come out there and try to block it.
All right, they're going to try to freeze him. They're going to call a timeout here.
Yep. And the Raiders calmly call a timeout. They have 2 to go. Danny Reeves, the man who's brought his Broncos back from a last-place finish a season ago. And at the time, he said, don't write us off. We weren't that far away at 5-11. And they went right back to the top of the class. A man who's taken 3 teams to the Super Bowl in the 80s and is possibly in line to go on to a divisional title if they can keep their momentum up with a win here. But they've got some tough road games coming up, not the least of which next Sunday at Kansas City. This is it. 6 seconds to play. Kubiak is the holder. Treadwell is the kicker. This would be his longest of the season. If he hits it, it'll win the game if it should. It's blocked. The Raiders win. Penalty marker is down.
Don, that looked like Andrew Glover, the tight end of the Los Angeles Raiders. Here's the call.
But a marker down. 1 second. The clock has run out. The game can't end on a defensive penalty. It's an offensive Raiders.
Holding number 88. That penalty is declined. Over.
So the Raiders and Coach Art Shell, after their bitter defeat at Kansas City when Shell said we didn't lose it, we gave it away, come back to win at Denver. At 73, Fitzsimmons was in there.
Fitzpatrick, an offensive tackle. He's 6 feet 8 inches tall.
Big ex-Trojan up in the air.
Well, the last 2 times David Treadwell kicks a blocked extra point and a blocked field goal.
2 blocks, a PAT and a field goal. And that proves to be, in the end, the difference as the Los Angeles Raiders beat the Denver Broncos for the 5th consecutive time. Art Shell is now 5-0 against the Broncos.
This is going to be a strange MVP. I think it's Scott Davis, the guy that blocked the extra point. He's a defensive tackle.
He made a lot of plays on the field. Let's make it Scott Davis. They don't get much in the way of acclaim.
The play of the game after a very nice drive. Watch Scott Davis on the Cannon replay of the game. Number 70.
And Scott Davis is the Avis MVP. That was a block of the extra point that allowed the Raiders to maintain their 17-16 lead. And then a subsequent block by Fitzpatrick. And that was the difference as the Raiders